What's going on, YouTube and y'all squad? This is your boy Yocrates. This is your review for Belle Collective Season 2. I believe this is episode 6. If you hear any noise in the background, that is my dog, and she finally decided she wanted to eat the rest of her breakfast, so she didn't want to eat it early. Anyway, so we pick up where we left off, where Tama brings up to Damon that Tasha, that is Letitia's friend, says that they have an emotional connection, and the confessional producers ask them about that, and he says, with a tone, next question. So either something is there, or he just doesn't want to give light to it. But for somebody being on reality television, unless you are Diana Jenkins from the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, that's the only time that I've seen something come up, and it's just like I don't want to talk about it, and it just doesn't get spoken about again. Other than that, it comes up, just be ready to deal with it because it's going to continue to be a thing. And he tells her that he's friendly with everybody. Maybe he was a little bit too friendly with her, and that's that on that. Okay, so now we get Marie, Letitia, and Latrice. So they're having lunch. But before the lunch can happen, you have Glenn that has followed Letitia, and he tells us, which I'm sorry, a lot of what I'm getting from them seems to just be like they're rehashing something that they've already dealt with. Like there's moments in time to where because they're reenacting it, you end up reliving it. And sometimes when you go back and try to relive, or not even try, like when you go back and relive something, you tend to actually have those same feelings and whatnot. So in this, it seems like there are real moments, even though this is literally just we're just going to redo how this played out, but then you get engulfed in what it is that you're thinking about, whatever. But his story didn't make sense then, right? And it'll play off a little bit later. But he says that he followed her to make sure where she was going is where she was going, but it's also for her protection because apparently Jackson isn't that safe of a place. But then he says that he was trying to explain something to her and she wouldn't let him, or I guess, and I'm assuming all this is over the phone, and I guess she just disconnected from him. If this was, and this is a big if this was in fact a real scene, maybe she disconnected from you because she wanted to be on time for a scene that she had to shoot. But nevertheless, it's way too much, and it's just not gelling for me, right? So Letitia, hold on, wait. So he pretty much tells her to answer her phone, and he peels off, being dramatic, causing a scene for this scene. So at the luncheon, Letitia's happy that Marie and Latrice are, finally able to coexist. She invites him to her son Joshua's party, which we find out is later that night. So I'm under the assumption that Marie already knew and maybe Latrice didn't know. But because this is a reality television show and, they have showtimes and whatnot, they already knew they were shooting the scene. Probably just didn't know what the scene was for. I don't know. Just throwing it out there. They all feel a way about IKEA, and they're side eyeing Tamara because one is like, if obviously this is your friend of many many years and you built a connection with us, but you're around her, she's being shady when it comes to us. She's telling you certain things, and then you're bringing it back to us, so it's really making them question her, which is understandable. Letitia brings up Tamara's love triangle, that whole thing, and saying that she doesn't know if she can trust Tamara because she feels that Tamara isn't being honest. But though I understand that, this relationship has nothing to do with you. If anything, it has everything to do with your friend, her, and Damon. Other than that, this has nothing to do with you. Now, I can understand if someone is being dishonest about something, how that will make you question anything else they've ever said, or anything they've said prior, and anything else they say afterwards. I can understand that, but you're involving yourself in something that has absolutely nothing to do with you. Uh, and then we find out that Tambra is hosting a girls' event that they're all going to be showing up to. So then we get So Gucci and JJ. All I'm gonna say is next episode we really finna get into the thick of them because a lot of us have been like, okay, she's a main cast member, but we really haven't got anything from her. I just hate the fact that it's going to be the kids that's going to sit here and give us the drama and not necessarily them, especially airing out some dirty laundry. But nevertheless, they've been together 15 years, married for 4. He wanted them to shack up. She said, not until I get the ring. So I don't know if it was once he proposed that she was willing to move in with him or after they got married, she moved in with him. But again, they ain't none of our business. She has 2 children. He has 3. It's been some difficulties there, which we will visit that next episode. They are going to do some a real estate project with Latrice. Glenn and Letitia comes up. JJ said, the men are going to go on a fishing trip because let him tell it, they need to catch up. There are 2 sides to every story, and men got needs. And I'm like, the only part I agree with is yes, there are 2 sides to every story. But to sit here and say that men have needs, this is something that we've been fed by, the silent generation and the baby boomers, and probably further back than that. And that has trickled down to, our current generation, which Generation X, Generation Y, and hopefully not the Generation Z and Alphas. But it's all very toxic, and it's, we get to sit here and give men a pass when no, we don't need a pass. We need to be held accountable. And if you can't be monogamous, then just stay single for the rest of your damn life. It's real simple. It's very, very simple. But to just say that, and it's like, I don't like that. I swear, I really don't like that. It's very disgusting. And tangent. I'm like, I had a cousin of mine. Now, this is within the last year. This man was telling me that the key to success for marriage is for a man to have a side chick. I looked at him just like, you have got I am so happy that I am a fully developed grown man, because I'm looking like, had I been a young impressionable child and you telling me this, I don't know how this would register. But this is that toxic stuff where it's just like boom, but then also trying to sit here and provide an alpha. Okay, we're going on a tangent. I'm sorry, y'all. Back to the review. And so we have the party, Joshua's birthday party. The cake slid because Glenn picked up the cake, and when he sped off, doing Grand Theft Auto Fast and the Furious-ish, the cake slid. And all that happened is the cake, so on the outer perimeter, so I guess like the plate that it was sitting on, it had Happy Birthday Joshua because it was a Spider-Man cake, and the Spider-Man cake slid to where it messed up the name. And the most important part. So she was upset about that. Glenn is picking at Letitia. Letitia is being shady towards him. Latrice is trying to calm the situation. And it's very unbearable. And regardless of whatever issues there may be, I can't tell somebody how and when to act. But the fact that y'all know that this day is not about you, you really mean to tell me that y'all couldn't have played now? Because they could have easily just said, whatever we're going through, we ain't gonna talk about it. We ain't gonna talk about nothing. We're gonna sit here. We're gonna be happy because this is his day. It is not about us. And if you try to talk to me about something, I'm just going to walk away. This ain't about us. Just saying. But again, it's a show. We're producing a scene, right? Let's not forget that. So Letitia wants Joshua to open up his gifts and for Glenn to. Okay, come on now. It is too early for y'all to be blasting y'all music out your cars. I'm sorry if y'all can hear that too. But anyway, and she wants him to man the cake. He don't want to man the cake. So his parents go off to the side. Joshua's parents, so Letitia and Glenn, they go off to the side. They're having a disagreement, so this whole thing is continuing on. It's very draining, to be honest. So Letitia suggests that he go talk to Glenn. Maybe that's what he needs to be. So Glenn is saying he followed Letitia because Jackson isn't safe. Okay. Again, it's like, okay, we get that part because you said that before. But then he said she didn't answer her phone. And if he wasn't answering his phone, he would be accused of cheating. Now, Cliff said this in his confessional. I wish he would have said it to him, but Cliff was right. Pretty much, bro, you put the wheels of this in motion. So you are literally reaping you sow these seeds, your harvest is here. You have to sit here and reap this harvest. It is what it is. Had you not cheated, her first thought probably would not go towards, oh, he's cheating. Probably just be like, oh, he's probably at work. And I'm still trying to figure out how is it that you do all this underwater welding or whatever the hell that he does, but you have been very much present for this season. I need for somebody to help me understand this, but nevertheless, this is all on you, bro. So then Cliff stated in his confessional he cheated. Oh wait, oh no, I already said that. Not cheated, but okay. So while Glenn is talking and he is saying Letitia's name, I didn't write down what was said because again, this was very, very much produced for me. Because as he is talking about Letitia, Letitia just so happens to walk into the room while he is saying something derogatory about her, which obviously production told her to go into the room so we can have a scene. And she is telling him that he needs to tell the truth. And Glenn says he's having like I'm having a conversation between me and my friend. This is the only time that I'm going to agree with Glenn, where this is a conversation that I'm having with him. I don't care if you did hear your name. You are not in this conversation. So can you please let us have this moment? You know, like whatever. I feel a way about people inserting themselves in a conversation that has absolutely nothing to do with them, especially when you were not present for how this thing started. But anyway, moving on. Marie and Letitia end up joining, and Letitia feels that he tripping and that he needs to check his ego. Things start to get a little tense. You can see, and I think in this moment is where things started to get just a little bit real. It went from, hey, we're trying to sit here and, recreate what has happened to they didn't went back in and now they in their damn feelings. And he's getting a little heated. You can see he's getting a little tense and whatnot. And, she was clenching her fist like she wanted to punch him. Uh, Cliff pulls him away. And Cliff tells him, bro, it's kids here. Your kids here. Don't do this in front of the kids. Calm down. Mm-mm. And that whole thing of if there's nothing else that can pull him out of this is your child is right here. But again, it should have been very much in the forefront of both of their minds that today or this moment at least is about our son. Nobody should have to remind you of that. And so Marie tells them they need to get it together because there's only one person that's going to hurt from this and that's going to be affected by this, and that is their son. Again, something that they are very much so fully aware of. But I'm not even gonna give Letitia no advice because he's in the credits, which means they already settled it. So never mind. Moving on, we get Marie with her grandson Akeisha. I said her name right. Ikea and her son. So they talk about kids, what happened with Marie and her son's baby mother, having a newborn in the house and all this other stuff. Um, Talks about Ikea being a new but older mom. Talk about her lupus, and Marie says she's afraid that she will not be able to see her kids become adults and do for themselves. The first half of that, I'm like, I can understand it. You have, this going on, and you want to be able to see your children become adults. And I'm pretty sure every parent wants that, especially if they have an ailment. But the part of seeing them do for themselves, ma'am, I can't speak for your other children, but for your son, you enable this man. Okay? Well, you enable this adult. So if you want him to do for himself, you need to stop enabling him and help him, not even help him, allow him, push him, make him take care of his own responsibility, because as long as you're doing it, he's never going to learn. And here's the thing. If the natural order of things happen, she will pass before him. But if you end up passing before he gets his stuff together, now you have literally created a codependent male that will more than likely attach himself to a woman and literally want her to do all of what it is that you did for him. So you literally do him no service, a disservice actually. Anyway, and Ikea felt this was nice because she got to understand Marie a little bit more, which is great. I mean, and I'll give Ikea this. Rather than judge Marie, well, never mind, no, because she had lunch with her before that brunch. Whatever, I'll give it to her for having a sit down with her after that brunch. I'll give her one brownie point. Whatever. So the men go fishing. and this is all the men, so all the husbands. Glenn feels his problems at home are all over a rumor. Now he admits to, and the rumor is the child. So his whole thing is like the rumor is the child, but he does admit to being unfaithful, but quickly steers the conversation to, well, I grew up without a dad, and pretty much I don't want that for my son. And it's like, so rather than truly stand in it and own it, you admit it, but quickly shift it to, but I grew up without a father, and my son. Don't do that. Don't do that. And I was so upset in this entire scene because none of the men truly held him accountable. I understand, trying to get the details and everything on what is going on. Got it. But y'all could still hold this man accountable and let him know, regardless of whether there's a stepped out on your wife. There's still infidelity. You created a soul tie. Like, got it. There's no baby, but the damage is already done. Nobody now. The new guy, Ikea's husband, I forgot his name, and I've got to write it down. So my bad, homie. I understand why he really wasn't saying much. Well, actually, him and JJ, because they're both new to the group. But I wanted Cliff to say more and really hold his feet to the fire. Nevertheless, Ikea's husband asked, "What is good in Mississippi other than the infidelity?" We ain't get an answer. So we end the scene with Tambra's Sistervention 2.0. Now, Marie had a lupus flare-up, so she couldn't be in attendance. Ikea doesn't know if she feels welcome because she missed an event. Now, that was Marie's event. Now, my thing is, if you felt away, now, I don't know chronologically how this happened. Now, because did she find out before she met with Marie or after she met with Marie? Because if she found out before she met with Marie and didn't say nothing to her, I got nothing for you. Even if you found out after you met with Marie, you could have easily called production and said, hey, I want to shoot a scene where I'm FaceTiming Marie, or I would like to shoot another scene where she and I can sit down so I can ask her a question about this. But your energy is directed at the wrong people. Because the only two people that this energy should have been directed towards should have been, I'm about to call her F-E-Y, Essie or Marie. So already, I'm already not feeling her, but I'm not feeling her in this situation. Tambra says that she doesn't like the he said, she said, but you did a he said, she said by telling the other women that Ikea called them ugly. All right. Let me see. Ikea says she wasn't able to. I'm sorry, no. Tambra says she wasn't able to tell Ikea about the party because Latrice's assistant already told her. Which, again, the timeline seems so funny to me because, again, if this is your friend of I don't know how many years, I don't know why within 24 hours after the event you wasn't already on the phone talking to her about it, or were you waiting for a scene to happen? I don't know. So Ikea wants to know where did the she shady, comment or whatever come from. Letitia says she was told, but now it was a whole lot of fluff said in between. I'm just giving y'all Cliff Notes versions because look, we already 18 minutes in. She said she was told this by Tambra. Tambra was like, no, I told you she throws shade. Now look, everybody, including myself, feels that that's the same thing. You being shady, you throwing shade, it's the same thing. Hell, I throw shade. So hell yeah, I'm shady. Hell. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? And again, Akeisha's one of those when she wants to sit here and try to quantify something about someone being shady is being deceitful and all that stuff. Ma'am, you doing too much. You doing way too much. Let's not. So Letitia mentions how her being shady. I'm sorry. So she was like, when I was informed that you were shady, when you came to the brunch, that was in the forefront of my mind. So I thought that when you talked about the plate, that was you being shady. So she was already on guard. And says that I thought that you would come in with bad energy. Ikea said that you had that energy when I came in, and says that she wasn't being shady about the plate being dirty because it was. And Letitia said, but you kept it going. And I have to agree with Letitia because that's his thing. Sometimes we hear things about people who do, like, will our energy be out? Will we be a little bit on guard to see if somebody going to say or do something crazy? Yeah, it happens. We all do it. But Letitia's right. She kept it going because once she realized that the plate was dirty, my immediate thing would have been, let me go to the host, or in this case, the hostess, and be like, hey, I noticed that my plate is dirty. Is there any way that I can get another one? Or you see there are other places on the table and ain't nobody else filling these seats. You could have switched it. Or because you knew the people that worked here that owned this establishment, you could have went like, it was three other things, but you said it to Latrice. Cool, got it. And Latrice said hers was dirty. Whatever. But she kept saying it, kept saying it, kept saying it. So yes, you were being shady and you were being difficult for no reason at all. So Ikea disagrees. And Letitia now, with this comment, I guess I don't know if Letitia felt that she wasn't winning the argument or whatever, but she says, you're at this table because I invited you to this table. Now, the I believe this went over Akia's head because she says, well, if you invite me to a table, make sure the plates are clean, and that's kind of where we end. But it wasn't, I invited you to the table at the brunch. It was, no, I invited you to have a seat at this table, which is this show. And that's just pretty much telling her, you need to be grateful because had it not been for me, you would not even be filming with us right now. And that's one of those where, in essence, that is kind of like a boss move or whatever, but it's also kind of lazy where it's just like, did you really have to go there? Because it's no different than when Nikki Gilbert and Selena Johnson were arguing on R&B Divas, and when not Selena, when Nikki wasn't winning the argument, she was like, "You work for me." And most people wouldn't know what that is if you didn't know that she was an executive producer on the show. And now my dog is drinking water. And Selena cleared it. If y'all don't know that clip, y'all can go on my IG, and I actually have it on there because it's still funny to this day. But nevertheless, that's the review. Jesse, calm down. You're doing too much. But that's my review. I need to go ahead and get back to my dog because she over here acting the fool. So hopefully you all enjoyed this review. Please rate, comment, subscribe, and share. We will be on Scotty's channel this Tuesday for the Whether You Like It or Not panel, where we will be discussing this episode. And I believe Sunday is the season finale of Real Housewives of Atlanta. So it should be a wonderful and interesting discussion then. So join us there, and I will see you guys, Monday morning for my Atlanta review, and then Tuesday evening for the Whether You Like It or Not panel. All right, y'all. Peace out.